This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome back to Women's Wealth Wednesday, where we specifically give women financial advice to help make them successful. And joining me is Caleb Doan, who is the Vice President at Foster Financial. Hi, Caleb.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So today we are continuing a conversation that we kicked off a couple of weeks ago for Women's Wealth Wednesday. And it was the interesting fact that women right now are retiring at a greater rate than men. And they may retire before the male in their household.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
No, that's exactly right. I think on average, women are retiring around the age of 63 and men are typically working until about 65. And so there's kind of this common scenario where if a husband and wife are roughly the same age, she'll retire a couple years before him and he'll continue working for a few years. And so that's certainly a really big financial change in somebody's life to go from having, two household incomes down to one. And so last week we talked a little bit about income planning during that time period. And today I kind of want to continue that conversation and talk about the decision of, should the wife turn on Social Security during that, couple years as well, or should she delay it?
So wait, so that's an option. So you can decide. I thought that when you hit a certain age, Social Security starts to flow.
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, you can actually turn on Social Security as early as 62 or as late as 70. And every year that you delay it, your benefit will actually increase. So there's kind of an incentive to delay it, but there's pros and cons both ways. And so people should really kind of understand all the factors to consider before deciding when to turn it on.
So when you say that their benefits will increase, does that mean that they possibly will receive more of a higher amount of a what am I trying to say? A higher
like a higher monthly
distribution,
benefit.
right?
Yeah. So
really?
Basically, your Social Security kind of full retirement benefit is typically around the age of 67, depending on when you were born.
Okay.
And so that's kind of the amount that they say, hey, this is when you hit your full retirement age. You can delay it as late as 70 and get even more, or you can take it as early as 62 and get a reduced benefit. And so oftentimes, every year that you delay it, your benefit goes up by about 8%. And so, for example, there's just a lot of factors to consider of when to take it. And I think one of the ones that people don't consider that they probably should is their health, actually, which sounds really interesting because it seems like it doesn't have a lot to do with your finances. But in reality, if we kind of look at an example, if somebody were to take Social Security at age 62, let's just say their monthly benefit was $1,000 a month.
Okay.
If they delay it until 67, it grows a little bit. They're delaying it 5 years, and if they turn it on at 67, maybe they would get $1,500 a month. So that's an extra $500 per month, an extra $6,000 a year. And so they might think, hey, I want that higher benefit, so I'm going to wait until I'm 67 to turn it on. But since they waited 5 years, they were now not getting that $1,000 a month for those 60 months. So they just gave up $60,000 over those 5 years in order to get an extra $6,000 a year when they turn it on at 67. So there's a lot of math here, but that means they now need to live for 10 years and collect Social Security at that higher benefit for that delay to have been worth it. And so that's when their benefits would kind of supersede each other by either taking it early or delaying. And so if I ever see somebody that comes in and if they have kind of a complicated health history or pre-existing conditions, whatever it might be, sometimes we think, hey, taking Social Security a little early might be better for you. Because some people say, hey, if I live until I'm 75, I'm really happy with that. And if that's the case, you think you might have a shorter retirement, sometimes taking Social Security early can make a lot of sense.
That is so interesting, and I was following that math, and it's almost like, we cannot predict our life expectancy. So that would be hard to say, like, why not just take it now? It reminds me of the lottery. Like, if you win the lottery, they're like, do you want a certain amount each month or take the whole chunk right now, but get half of it taken through taxes?
Right.
So that is interesting. That's a hard decision. So do you find when you're working with your clients and discussing this and helping them give them advice for this decision that they struggle with it?
Yeah, it's a big thing. And sometimes in some of our financial planning, I'll say, hey, I'm going to ask about your health history. And I know it's going to seem weird because this is a financial planning session,
Right.
but I'll explain kind of that rationale, and they'll say, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Yeah, here's the health history. I'm really healthy. My parents lived till they were 90. And
Yes.
so, that impacts your financial plan. And so,
Yes.
what I've seen is a lot of people will make the decision about Social Security based on really unique things. Their neighbor took it at 70, and so they think it's better to delay it until 70 or whatever it might be. But everyone is very unique. Everyone has a unique health history, unique financial situation.
Yeah.
And so it's important to probably talk to a financial advisor, someone who can at least show you all the factors to consider
Yes.
and help you through that decision.
And so, last question on this, because this is such a fascinating topic. Can people take Social Security while they're still working, or do they have to be fully retired?
That's a great question. So if you're under the full retirement age, which most people at 67, if you take Social Security while you're working, if you make over a certain threshold, they start reducing your Social Security. And so this year, the number escapes me, but it's like, $20,540, something like that. It's
Something
right
silly,
around
yes.
$20,000. For every $2 you make over that threshold, they'll reduce your Social Security benefit by $1.
Okay.
But if you're
okay.
over 67, they stop reducing it at all. And so
Okay.
that's another factor to consider too. Maybe if somebody's still
Right.
working until they're 67 and their Social Security benefits would be so reduced that they wouldn't get anything, we just wait until they're 67. to
And
turn
once
it on.
they activate their Social Security at either age 62 or 67, working or not, that's locked in for life?
So there are ways that you can turn it off,
Okay.
temporarily, but I would say, 95% of people, once they turn it on, it's on for life.
Yeah.
Definitely once you turn it on, if you keep it on, that's the benefit amount
That's
you
the
get every
benefit,
month.
okay.
It'll go up a little bit each year for inflation, but
Right.
that's the benefit that you get.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a
Wow.
complicated thing,
Right.
lots of things to consider. Yeah.
Oh, that was good. Man,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah, thank
Caleb.
you.
Yes, yes. If you would like more information about Foster Financial and really discuss all of these topics with an expert, then they are offering a complimentary consultation. We recommend that you give them a call to set up your appointment. We'll have the number listed below, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.